the RSI Aurora MR, the Mustang Alpha, the Anvil C8X Pisces, and the Drake Cutter. Today we're going to take a look at what it takes to get started in Star Citizen. Starting up with Star Citizen all begins right here in the pledge store, where you ultimately pick the way your Stanton Adventure will start out. There are a number of starter packs you can choose from, which all come down to what kind of budget you have set aside for this exact purpose. Whilst every ship can be bought in-game with in-game currency that you can earn from different in-game loops, your starter ship is the ship you'll have constantly through the update wipes and is what you'll have in your hangar when the launch day eventually comes. Many people will recommend the Avenger Titan as the best package to start with, but for myself that's just a little bit over budget. I've set myself a $70 limit. So let's have a look at what I can pick up to get myself into the persistent universe of Star Citizen. There are 4 options that I can count in from the start: the RSI Aurora MR, the Mustang Alpha, the Anvil C8X Pisces, and the Drake Cutter. I'll be looking at potential for earning, ease of use, and obviously how good we'll look while flying around trying to make some money to buy bigger ships to be used later on. First off, looking at the Mustang Alpha, immediately I'll drop that from the list. Whilst it can carry cargo and has a notable bit of speed behind it, it only has the cockpit for a player to enter and exit. I need something that has some versatility when it comes to space, so that we aren't limited while getting our mission time in. Strong contender, but just not what we're wanting in the way of a starter that will help us get the head start we need right now. The price it comes in at is well under budget though, and for what it can do, it's still a solid choice if your budget is around the $50 mark. Well, $52 to be safe for those who are wondering. Though, if that is your budget, it's definitely worth taking a look at the second ship we'll be crossing off the list, the Aurora MR. Whilst the Aurora loses out in speed and weaponry to the Mustang, it does offer a small cabin with the cockpit and can still carry cargo too. It's easier to fly from what I've been told and can take on missions that the Mustang just can't. It's got a nice look to it and can definitely be great to start life out in Star Citizen. And if my budget was at the $52 mark, this is most definitely, out of the two, the one that I would have picked up. But with a slightly larger budget put aside, the Aurora gets moved off the list of potentials and leaves us with 2 ships to compare a little bit more against each other. With both of these ships coming in at the same price of $69, we'll have to dive in and make sure we pick up the best of the 2. First off, let's have a look at the C8X Pisces. The website's description of the ship reads, enhancing the C8 Explorer with added firepower and a limited edition livery, the C8X Expedition turns a stout snub into a capable standalone vehicle, ideal for exploring tight spots and unique environments inaccessible to larger ships. But having a closer look at the ship allows us the following insights. The C8X has jump seats for more than one pilot, which makes it great if you have some friends along for the ride when doing some missions. The Pisces is also capable of carrying up to 4 SCU of cargo, as well as decently sized internal vehicle storage for armor and things like that. It does not, however, have an in-ship hab area with a bed for ship logging, which you might grow fond of as it can help when needing to quickly pause in on an adventure. Like, if you're on a mission and you need to take a pause, you can stop on a planet, climb into the bed and click log off. Unfortunately with the Pisces, this isn't an option. The handling is easy enough to get around learning to fly, and combat performance is strong for a starter. 4 weapon attachments, 2 fixed, 2 gimbals. You could definitely have some fun in a fight with the C8X. Looking at it from a visual standpoint, it's a beautiful small ship, but reminds me a little bit of a thick submarine. I like the shape and the paint of the Starter Edition one, but the drawback for me is the space and the fact that there isn't a bed or hab area. As a solo player to start, the extra seats aren't a plus for me either. But before we cross this off the list though, let's have a look at the Drake Cutter. The website description we get for the Cutter reads, designed for hard-working folks of all stripes. The Cutter packs 4 SCU of cargo room and plenty of wallop into a rough and tumble compact frame. It's a ship that truly embodies the spirit of Drake, that no matter who you are or what you do, you can reach the stars. To start, I'd like to talk about the inside of the Cutter. The ship is sectioned out into a cockpit, a hab, and storage. It's a smaller starter ship with a good amount of space for solo players. The hab area has a nice personal storage and a bed for ship logging, and that already puts it ahead for me. The storage area in the back is large enough for a small vehicle with some difficulty and has space for 4 cargo units. So straight away, that's 4 cargo units and maybe a small vehicle that it has up on the C8X, which can only carry the 4 units. I like this because I can always put, with some trouble, a vehicle in for missioning on a planet and know that I'll not have to leave it behind. The outside of the ship, well, it sort of reminds me of the Magic School Bus in a way. It's definitely a workhorse and not meant for aesthetics, but in saying that, the cutter has a certain boldness in its worker beauty that I kinda like. Looking at it from a weapons standpoint though, the cutter is falling behind. Only 2 gimbal size 2 weapons versus the 2 fitted and 2 gimbals on the C8X. It means we'll probably don't want to take this into too many fights early on while we're still learning to fly. But this sparks the question, is that what we're looking to do in the early part of our adventure? There are many different kinds of missions to take part in, but we're looking at using our starter ship as a way to make some money fast so that we can get our hands on other ships. The large fuel tank and QT drive make the cutter an even stronger choice for the cargo runs. Not an easy choice, but both ships are looking really good and have their own strengths and weaknesses. I think though that we'll be picking up the cutter to start our adventure in Stanton. Which ship would you start out in? Let me know in the comments what you'd pick as your starter and what you think of the choice I made. Remember to like and subscribe, it really helps the channel out and it lets you know when the next bit of content is out. The best part is, it's totally free. I'll see you guys in Stanton.